here that's telling me.
We're going to go live on Facebook too, lest I forget.
All right. So, hi, ladies and gentlemen. Cort, Yankee T News, and my sidekick here, Jason Douglas, the big picture, who is the CEO, the proud CEO of Connecticut Common Sense News and Entertainment. Yeah,
That's
baby.
Right. Incorporated.
You get to watch this and say, I knew him when. So there you go.
Let's hope it's all going to work out that way. Yeah. In the meantime, though, we are going to go live on Facebook as well here. So we're firing that up. Here it is. 3, 2. I like the way it counts down. It's cool.
All right.
Live on Facebook here on March the 6th, Friday night. Woohoo, party time. Jason Douglas here with Cort Ratnowski.
This is kind of
News. Yeah, we're doing it again. That's right.
Yeah, this is kind of radical because this is like Newsmax and Fox News co-broadcasting together on the same screen.
Exactly. We're in our infancy, but yes, we're doing that.
And who said conservatives couldn't work together?
You can even see my webcam on this angle too. My $120 webcam, by the way, which is working great. Yeah, it's such a good webcam. It's so good that I can't do close. If I get too close to it, you'll see all the pores in my skin. You'll see how old I really am. So I got to stand back. Woo!
Yeah, no, you don't want that.
This camera's too good.
No. Okay.
It's really good. So anyway, how are you? What's on your mind tonight?
All right. So in the overview here, you brought up a couple things about Connecticut you want to talk about. And we did say we got to talk about Iran. That is one live bomb, baby.
We have to talk about Iran. Let's start off with that.
All right. And then also this thing about directed energy weapons, because, well, I confess, I've got a few things to say on the subject. Okay. That said, I'm just going to rattle off a couple of things here. Boy, my handwriting is so sloppy.
Oh, don't you hate that? I can't read my own handwriting half the time. So.
All right. All right. So number one.
Kicking their butt. Let's start with that. Iran is.
No. What I want to start with is how Iran has been attacking other nations. And the count is 12 now. Okay?
Yeah. Yes.
They've launched these missiles and drones at no less than 12, I think most of them fellow Muslim countries. And we've been scratching our heads going, what the hell are they doing? Well, guess what?
It's desperation, we're assuming.
Wrong. There is a method to their madness. So get ready. What they're aiming for is to cause unrest in those countries. So, for example, if it's about Qatar, if it's about the UAE, all right? These are countries where the populations are more conservative, okay, and more in agreement with the mullahs in Iran, whereas the leadership in those countries would be considered, quote, more westernized. The thing is, the populace is going to look at their leadership and saying, well, you're weak and feckless because you can't protect us from the Iranians, so we're going to overthrow you.
Yeah, it's not going to work.
Well, it's a concern. It's a concern. Now, we haven't known these countries to become violent like that, but, people who know what they're talking about have raised this as a concern.
If this was something that was if this war were to drag on for years and months, I would be a concern, but I think it'll be over by May.
Okay. Well, 6 weeks is what some are saying. All right. So then I will take this moment here and ask you, since you've got about the right look, you almost look like a mullah. You're pretty
no, please.
Yes.
Yeah. No, Harvey's Lake. We're going to talk about this toward the end about Harvey's Lake.
Yeah, no, it's the glasses. It's the glasses. Those are mullet glasses.
Reading glasses.
Yeah. So
I need.
Okay. So what we would need to think about is how are the Iranians thinking right now? Okay. And I preface this for your consideration. About the
Iranian government, the mullah in Iran.
I want to preface this by pointing out that the Iranians have seen us coming for a long time now. They have not been surprised by any of what we have done. All right.
When you say a long time, what do you mean by a long time?
Oh, at least since last June.
Okay. You're not talking about 47 years. You're talking about the last
47 years, but it could have been 10 years. When we attacked Iraq.
When Trump took office.
They had contingency plans.
When Trump was let's face it, when Trump was inaugurated again, they said, "Uh-oh."
Yeah. Well,
Right.
all right.
They saw this could be coming.
So what did they do about it? Right. But let me get to the heart of what I want to propose here.
Okay.
They understand that America is a more powerful country than they are. They understand that a lot of their military assets would be destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
So, rule number one, hide as much as you can in the way of ammunition and weapon systems. Hide them. All right. You're going to lose a bunch, but if you hide enough of them, some will not be found. Part two.
And as a result, before you get to part two, as a result, it's safe to assume they have these munitions hidden all over Iran and probably in most of their proxy countries that they have proxies in.
There might be that too. So, since you brought that up, there is a claim. There is a claim that in Lebanon, all right, what has happened, I mean, somehow to me, I lump all these people together, but in the minds of these other people, the IRGC, okay, is a separate entity from Hezbollah, even though Hezbollah is funded, for the most part, by the IRGC.
Yes.
So as the story goes, the IRGC have been enabling Hezbollah with a whole new batch of missiles from Lebanon to be fired soon at, drum roll, please,
Saudi Arabia, Qatar.
No.
What? No. Israel?
Yeah.
Where?
But which part of Israel?
Jerusalem, Tel Aviv.
Port of Haifa. Port of Haifa is critical to the Israeli economy. So if they disable that port, that's going to hurt the Israeli economy tremendously. So the point is to have, literally, as the rumor goes, thousands of these missiles poised in Lebanon to be fired at Haifa.
I heard that Israel is starting, some of the bombing is starting to go on in Lebanon now, too.
Yeah.
Today, I heard that.
Okay.
So maybe they're under that.
I mean, they are playing multiple games here.
This is war.
It is war, and Iran is not without its own capacity for playing 3D chess.
This is it. This is war.
Okay. So the potential for attacking Haifa is something you have to put on the list.
I think Israel is, even if something happens at their port at Haifa, I think Israel is prepared to handle what needs to be done to put this finally to bed. This Iran problem to bed once and for all, even if it means they got to rebuild their port.
Okay, well, this is not the way President Trump has been talking. Okay, so there was a snarky tweet, I guess, or social post he put up. He said, "Yeah, we've destroyed their army. We've destroyed their air force. Their troops don't want to fight. We destroyed a lot of munitions, but other than that, they're doing just fine. We killed their leadership twice over, and they're doing fine. Yeah, okay."
Yeah, so what you're saying is that they might have a Hail Mary or a last gas type of damage.
Do you play chess? Do you play chess?
I do play chess quite well.
So I'm not a master, but we'll have to take each other on sometime.
I've been as high as a 1385.
Okay. Oh, okay. Then I am up to the challenge because I don't think I ever broke 12.
No, that's not my average. My average is probably more like a 1285 or 1305. 1305 maybe.
That means you're pretty good at handling the queen. Okay.
Oh, we'll have to play chess. Have you ever played at GameKnot.com?
On what?
It's called GameKnot, like you tie a knot. GameKnot.com.
Okay. Yeah. No.
And what you do is you play chess online, and it's a longer game. So you have up to 3 days to make a move.
Oh, geez. Wow. Okay. Well, that's
one hard game.
Yeah. Okay.
But we could play in person. I'd rather do that.
Yes, me too. So the point I'm trying to make is, well what the nature of an end game strategy is. You drag it out. You punish your opponent as much as possible.
It depends on how the beginning of the game goes, but yes.
Okay.
I agree with you.
Okay, if you're down, let's say you're even down 2 power pieces, right? Or let's say you have a power piece advantage, but you lost the queen, okay? And your opponent has a pawn advantage, okay? So
Gotta
you can
make game
imagine
drag
now
out.
what kinds of maneuvering are going to have to go on, right?
Defensive
Under those
maneuvers.
circumstances.
Yeah.
All right. So in the same vein, the Iranian government has a plan. They knew that their leadership would probably get wiped out. So what they have done is they've taken a quote decentralized approach.
Did they know that though?
What?
Did they? I don't think they expected the leadership to get wiped out the way it did in the beginning of the war like that.
I think Ayatollah. No, no. I mean, we have
The
information.
daytime attack surprised them.
No, Khomeini was expecting to be killed. Okay, so
I'm sure they expected
to be killed.
Okay.
The people close to him are going to be killed. All right.
Yeah.
That the second layer got wiped out, that probably took them by surprise. But now they know that they got to be much more careful in how they communicate and handle things. And I believe that's exactly what they're doing. Okay.
Meanwhile, if that's the case, then we need to be moving in quickly with Kurd troops or whatever we need to do quickly to take care of this business. But
okay. So, again, theirs is, I believe, an end-game strategy in the sense that they are going to bleed America and Israel as much as possible while accepting that ultimately they'll be defeated. Okay.
And the strategy behind that is to get the people in these other countries to start to turn on their governments, and hopefully the people, our people, turn on ours. Because as we speak, we already have people on MAGA that are already growing impatient.
Sure, which is crazy. 1 week. What is with you people?
Yeah, I know.
President Trump has spoiled you after what happened in Venezuela. Get serious. Okay.
If we could do this by June, I'd be happy. And that's longer. That's a longer time frame. They're talking 4 to 5 weeks. Just get it done by June, and I think that's good. Or May. I mean, I don't mean May, June. I mean by May. By May to get it done would be good.
Okay, so let me just back up with one story.
I think what you're saying is great, except the one thing, they're down a queen and 2 knights and 3 pawns.
Yes, but the
it's over.
Point is,
when you play chess, when it's over, it's over.
Okay, they have the pawn advantage, we have the power piece advantage, but it's still a game where you can see there's going to be counter moves of all kinds in order to drag it out as much as possible.
Yes, I see that.
Okay. You can have President Trump telling the Iranians, you should resign. Your king is as good as gone. But no, we'll get to that point. You just keep making your moves, Bob.
The people of Iran need to rise up quick. We need to help them out and make that happen quick.
Yes, I mean we'd like to believe that. The problem is, as one person said, there is no. What am I looking for here? There is no. What did they put it? There's no civic culture in Iran that supports the development of a political opposition that can lead to a new civil government. It doesn't. So that capability is not there.
My point again. Just last fall, just 3-4 months ago, we had 30, 40, 50,000 Iranians marching in the streets, ready to take down their government.
Right.
And now
they're dead.
A lot of them are dead.
Yep. Okay.
That's so again, all of them are dead.
But remember, still you had some students came out and protested, others have protested. And the question is, well, what kind of strength or will do they have to fight for freedom? Okay.
Now's the time, baby. Trump said it on TV last weekend.
Now's the time, but they haven't. Oh, what am I looking for here?
Too many of them got shot last fall.
All right.
Maybe
where's their George Washington? Okay, where's their George Washington? Where's their Benjamin Franklin?
See, you brought up chess. George Washington is another good example of a guy who was able to stall the enemy. And in that case, it led to victory.
Right. Okay.
I won't hear for Iran, but
okay, but so yes, to your point.
So where's the George Washington?
That's a good one. Okay. All right. Wouldn't it be a kick in the pants, right, for us to find out that, in fact, the Iranian military had studied the tactics of George Washington in the Revolutionary War?
And use that to wear us down here. It's not going to happen. It's not the same circumstances.
Well, okay. That's just, The fact that it is not the same circumstances, I will argue, is to the Iranian advantage. Okay, look, they've got home field advantage. They know the territory. We
But they have
don't really know the territory.
Their own people are against them, though.
But not all of them.
No,
Okay,
no.
not all of them.
No, not all of them.
So it's going to be like an arm wrestling match, and it's going to be a case of who's stronger. All right.
Civil war in Iran. Then let them do it. Let them
part where President Trump has not gone further than to say, you know, we're going to, if the person is reasonable, even if it's not a democratic government, but they're reasonable, we'll be okay with them. Right? He said that.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's recognizing that their ability to form a civil government based upon principles of democracy is pretty weak. Pretty weak. Okay.
What, that we're not expecting that standard, you mean?
The people, because they don't, it's not a part of their makeup culturally. Okay.
I think, but more recently, Trump has said that he wants to have a hand in naming the leader, and they're going to make sure it's a great person and whatnot.
All right. He can say that. All right. And he said the other things too. The point is, when I look at Iran and what my understanding of their history and the people and their political makeup and what's happened in the last 100 years, I'm having, and others share my feelings about this, we're having trouble seeing where new leadership is going to emerge and take over the government. Now, that said, okay, you know, here I'm kind of mixing and matching by pointing to what we did with Venezuela. All right, so we've taken out the leadership, but if we let others stay in place, you see, this is the thing. If we accept a less democratic solution, then you're going to have these bureaucrats still able to run the government at lower levels who might, you know, put up with the fact that it's not the mullahs, but, mullah adjacent. So we'll take it.
No, I don't think we should settle for that. I don't think we should settle for that.
Okay, well, all right. To that point.
So for what happened with Japan.
Yeah. What about Japan?
Well, Japan became Americanized a little bit, at least to the point they have their own country over there. But
well, that said, but for the long
economics to Iran, you know, yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure what Iran was really like in the 70s, but I do thought they did have some type of a free economy there, some type of a moderate existence.
Yeah. Well, I think the sense was that under the Shah, by the 70s, the government was just becoming more and more corrupt. I mean, corruption to the extent that the man in the street was pissed off. Okay.
Corruption like American, white collar capital corruption, though, right? Not end America, corruption.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, let's see. In their case, I mean, corruption again, they have certain rules, certain procedures, and you had people inside the government violating it all the time. You had businessmen showing up, and they're always cutting deals, and nobody else knows about it.
Like New York City.
Yeah, no, this is human nature, unfortunately. Unfortunately.
But that's not a national security threat. The Shah was not a national. Was the Shah? They were not a national security threat.
No, I wouldn't. No, it's just. I mean, when you have a corrupt government, you have a third world government, basically. Okay.
And that and about 57 other third world countries around the world.
Okay.
So the objective of this war is to remove Iran as a national security threat.
Okay.
It's not to create a Liberia or an Americanized Iran.
Yeah.
But it is to make sure that part of the objective is to make sure whatever takes over there does not intend to destroy the Western world. Really, I would say
that would be a necessary qualification. I would agree with that, and any of those inclinations would be disqualifying.
Correct.
As far as President Trump is concerned, and we're concerned. And I just want to throw one other in. Okay, Iranian women can be pretty rough.
They're the ones we got to win over, just like in American elections.
Well,
No different. We got to win them over there.
I think we've already won a lot of them over.
I think so too.
Don't even think for a minute they enjoy wearing those jobs.
You're damn right they don't enjoy.
Yes,
and they don't enjoy living in. Some of them don't enjoy sleeping in cages either. Of course.
Yeah. Okay. So, and plus the point was made. There was that big event. There was a woman 20 years old who, because she was picked up by these, what should I call them, Sharia police, and imprisoned, and then ultimately killed because she wouldn't wear a headscarf, has really pissed off a lot of people in Iran, especially women. So I think there's the anger there, okay, but that anger has to turn into organization, okay. It has to turn into the political institutions that give them a future. Just saying.
That's the part that's going to take a little more time, and that's the part where I think we can help from the outside a little bit. With influence and help. Just help. They're going to ask for help. The people that want to do the right thing will ask for our help, and we're willing to give it.
Yeah.
What's the guy's name from the States that Trump says may not be the best guy, but I forget his name. He's on TV a lot now. He's lived in the United States since he was 9, and he wants to go back and help.
Back to where?
Back to Iran, back to his homeland, and then they're arguing about whether a guy who's really an American now. He moved here in 1979 with his mother when he was 9.
Okay.
The revolution. Now he's grown up here. He's an older guy. He's about my age, I think, even.
Yeah. Well,
back. At first, he was talking about leading Iran, and then Trump's like, "Well, we don't want to bring an American in to lead Iran right now. You're kind of an American at this point.
Okay.
But maybe you can help." So there's a guy who go back and help advise and help bring things about. Right. Maybe he has connections there.
Yes. Well, I mean, there are tons of expats, Iranian expats in America. And so
they can help. We don't want them to take over, but they can help.
Yes, these things take time. So
they do.
On the one hand, the Iranian government wants to buy time to make it last as long as possible. But the longer you make it to last, the more opportunity that gives your opposition to get organized.
That's what finding these sources of where these missiles are being launched. These actual tactical strategies in the war are very important over the next 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah. Okay. So in the meantime, one other news item was about a short, cryptic shortwave message that was sent from Iran.
To who?
We don't know.
Out there on the internet?
We don't know.
Short, cryptic message. I hear the Russians are helping Iran with
via shortwave. Okay, so here's the thing. Do I have to bring up all them funky terrorist cells that the Iranians supposedly created and deployed over the last 50 years? Do I have to mention them?
So that's one of the things. I'm glad you brought that up, because that's one of the things I worry about.
Well,
I don't worry about.
I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you that you don't have to worry. It's funny. Oh my God.
I don't have to worry?
No. Oh, okay. Part 1.
I only worry about the one that gets through. I'm not worried about it as a whole. I'm worried about the one, though.
Okay. Yeah, 1. We'll see how far that 1 gets. Okay. Part 1. So you deploy these terrorist cells to America. They get a job. And a number of them find that, hey, I kind of like America. This is kind of
right.
Okay.
I
have not gotten to the best part yet.
Because America is addictive. America is wonderful, and it wears off on people. It takes you over. It's beautiful. Okay. It's the most wonderful, beautiful place on the planet where you can do what you want for the most part and enjoy your life. Go ahead. It's beautiful. And it wears off on everybody.
So here's the deal killer. This is why the Iranian terrorist cells have decided, I don't want to die for the mullah.
I don't want to die for Allah. This is great. I love the way
they started to discover.
Comedy club.
Okay, they started to discover. Hold on. Latina booty, hot Latin girls,
reggaeton.
Oh yes,
reggaeton.
Screw the 72 versions. I'm taking this one right here.
Hey, you're right. You're 100% right. I still worry about the one.
Yes. Okay. Oh, yes, you said only 1.
Well, the 1 out of 100 or whatever. There are those 1 or 2 that are not swayed by these things, and
yeah,
I don't think it's anything to really worry about that much. Though I think you're right. But again, if I just worry about the one,
the image.
look what happened at 9/11. You know, that was only didn't take much to plan that.
Anyway, so I had to introduce that. So let us get back
That's a good
to
point.
the their strategy, such as it is.
I kind of like it here. Hey, I kind of like it, America, huh?
Yes. All right. So we got. They say there's about 150,000 troops that the Iranians still have.
A lot of those guys are going to say, hey, I want to be able to buy a blanket for my wife. I wanted my wife to walk on the street without the mask too, man. I'm going to lay down most of those Reagan guys are going to do the same thing.
That is not an Iranian accent. I just want to let you know.
I know.
Okay, that was an Italian accent, and it sucked.
I'm Italian. Wait a minute.
Okay, okay. Well, it comes naturally then. All right.
When we talk about Mussolini, then I'll fit right in.
Okay. So in the meantime, the other tidbit, what was it? Let me think. Oh, the news announcement that a number of commanders have abandoned their troops
in Iran.
Mm-hmm. Okay, they're scared shitless. Mm-hmm. They see what happened to their bosses, and they don't want it to happen to them, so they're boogieing out. I don't know where they're going, but they're boogieing.
Apparently, over the last day, the bombs are falling in Iran at a pace a lot more intense than before.
You have these troops in their barracks. They're unprotected. They're unorganized. They're on everything. This is crazy. Okay, so there's that tidbit. Let me move on to the next tidbit. I'm trying to remember which Toyota is it. I can't remember. There are those Toyota pickup trucks that they used in Afghanistan a lot.
Tundra,
right?
Toyota Tundra.
What are they called?
The Toyota Tundra.
And that might be it. Yes. So the rumor is that the Kurds are buying 50 Toyota Tundras.
Just 50.
Just 50. Well, just to get started. Okay, just to get started.
Are you saying the Kurds are getting ready to mount the ground assault with our guidance and
this is a surprise to you?
No, we talked about it before.
First of all, you can be sure the Iranians have known for a long time that Mossad and CIA have been helping the Kurds in the north. Not a surprise, okay? Mm-hmm. And now we have this back and forth because the Americans have screwed Kurds so much in the past about whether or not the Kurds will step up. My prediction is you bet they'll step up.
Yeah, because they know it's Donald Trump running the show now.
Well, that's part of it, but
that is part of it. That's a big part of it.
There has to be serious negotiations about what we'll call semi-autonomous regions for the Kurds in Iran. Got to do it. You got to do it, guys. All right.
Well, who were the last two presidents, Republican presidents, before Donald Trump?
Well,
George W. Bush and George H.W. Bush, both rhinos.
Yeah. Okay.
So
which I think is the real problem here. All right. So, and as rhinos, there are also neocons, and I think there are these weird things that make up the mindset of a neocon when it comes to international conflict, and they just don't seem to draw the necessary connections.
So when you say neocon, you're talking about far right wing.
Yeah. What does that mean? What does far right mean here? Okay. Far right is supposed to be, quote, authoritarian, but we're not suggesting authoritarian here.
I got news for you. Far right and far left are not that far apart.
Yes, fine.
People think of it as a line, right, left, but it's actually a circle.
Okay, at least I thought we were talking about the Kurds here.
Yes, we are. And the Kurds are moderate Muslims.
So the neocons you think of as far right. Oh, somebody's just tuned in with us.
Oh, who? Who's joining us?
Booger 414. Hi, Booger 414. We didn't call them rhinos back in the day. Well, you're absolutely right about that. So, okay, you have to go to school for many years to learn psychoanalysis, and that includes political psychoanalysis.
Or just be around for a while.
Say what?
Or just be around for a while.
Well, no, you just understand the way they think and act. Mm-hmm. I guess, should I consider Lindsey Graham now that's it. Model basket case. There you go. Model basket case. Nonetheless, and he's a clever basket case. We're going to give him credit for that. Anyway, so the thing I'm trying to get to here is that So, all right. In other words, by looking at the Kurds getting more involved, and right now it looks like the Iranian military is disorganized, and then you're going to have the people kind of in the middle rising up here.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a mess. It's
right.
going to be an unholy mess. All right.
Maybe
And
a
how does
civil
it
war.
shake out? How does it shake out? Because again, I'm gonna refer to something else that I've referred to before. Game theory. You can be sure that there's been lots of game theory going into the simulations that try to work out, well, what would happen if these people get a little bit more advantage? What if they have a few more resources? What if this becomes the dominant issue? You know, how do the dynamics change as a result? And this leads us to another statement. All right. Are you ready for the next statement?
I'm ready.
I hate to bring this up. Okay. There is a group, we've mentioned them before, they're called the CIA. And if there's something they're pretty good at, it's what's called the color revolution. All right. Now, the problem with Iran right now is everything is in such an amorphous mess that their ability to, quote, inflict a color revolution in Iran, it's just not time yet.
Oh.
Let's see what's he's asking.
Taking shelter right now. They're still in the shelter right now. I'd be indoor. I'd be in shelter right now.
Yeah, Culinary Institute of America. I love it. Yeah, you're going to cook up some goodies here.
Who's cooking food for us? I'm hungry.
No. Booger 414. Thank you for watching us, Booger 414. You are the first. You are the
Welcome.
first, and we will treasure you always. So he's throwing in this other comment. I mentioned the CIA, and he said, "Wait a second. What are you talking about? The CIA? Do you mean the Culinary Institute of America?" Well, didn't you know that the Culinary Institute of America is a cutout for the CIA? Just what a great idea! A cooking school for spies. I mean, what would you do with that? They
Put it in the slow cooker, then.
That's right. Yes. Well, so there are many different ways to poison people you want to poison. So, Culinary Institute might have a role there. Just saying. Okay. So. Anyway, that's a wonderful digression.
So Iran is a race against time.
I am guilty of trying to jump ahead and sort of anticipate what the next 3 weeks are going to look like. And all I see right now is it's going to get messier and messier. Sure, we're going to mount more attacks, but I go back to what I just said before, and that is that the Iranians are expecting this to last at least 2 or 3 months. Okay, so look for the missile launches on Haifa. Okay, look for other ballistic missiles that we thought we got, but we didn't. Okay, look for more attacks on the other Muslim countries. All right, in order to stir things up. Okay, and I will even go so far as to say that yes, in a funny way, I would say that the Iranians are being, quote, transactional, okay, because they have to react to each situation on its own merits. They're no better at planning than we are when it comes to what happens next. And but again, I point out they have the home field advantage. All right, they may just be able to start steering us, in different directions to really, kind of make things more difficult for us. The more dead Americans, the more injuries, okay, the more they bleed financially, the more of our equipment they can destroy, even if it's nominal compared to what we've done to them, all right?
Right, 6.
It's still going to have some impact. And, you and me, we look at this and say, we understand. Okay, all right, I might as well say it. Great. You know what? I was in the Navy, okay. And hey, I even spent a little time. See, I wish I still had that old. You're funny. I wish I still had that old Ayatollah dartboard from 1979. Well, you know what? We can always make another one, right? Those pictures are still around. Yes, and I know just
as an American public, if we can't be patient for 2 months, man, then we might as well just forget about it.
Yeah, well, okay.
Forget about it.
All of this said, the critics, the so-called pundits, we can count on this. somebody lost it.
I think we're gonna. My point is, I think we're gonna be fine. We'll have this mullah turned around by May 1st, and the home field advantage will be over because there's enough influence within Iran against. There's 47 years of oppression that have got to come out and are going to come out. I don't think they killed all the protesters last fall. They killed 32,000 or more. They didn't kill them all. They're going to eventually come out. Right now, they're hiding in their houses because there's bombs going off everywhere. Mm-hmm. There's going to be at some point, and my prediction is this: in about 3 weeks from now, 2 to 4 weeks from now, they're going to say we're going to stop the bombing. Come on out, take over this government. That's what they're going to do. And I think you're going to see an amazing thing. Here's what, to your point though, after May and June, while the new government of Iran is being formed, everything seems wonderful. Every now and then you're going to hear about a bomb going off here or a missile strike here or some leftover firing power that they've got hidden off somewhere. That's going to happen. And that's going to probably continue to happen for, forever. Oh, Iran's proxy. This might have been one of Iran's old proxy, not forever, but for months and months to come.
Okay.
These things are going to keep happening because Iran is going to keep, even if their government is displaced, even if they've lost their home field advantage, there's still that one, and there's still going to be some, like you said, munitions that we thought we'd find that we didn't find.
Yeah.
And these things will continue to happen until next year when we have the Riviera in Tehran and everything's going to be, but then there'll be that terrorist attack that happens here, that happens there, because these mullahs aren't just going to go away. They're not going to all give up.
Mm-hmm.
But there are going to be some of them that are going to go, hey, this is kind of better. Let's put ourselves in the mind of an Irani native growing up in Iran and becoming influenced by the mullahs and becoming sympathetic to the mullahs and knowing nothing but the oppression of the mullahs and being all in favor of it, and then eventually becoming a member of the guard in Iran. And then what happens is Donald Trump comes along and this war comes along and this army is defeated and this new free government starts building up, and this person sees this and says exactly what you said 15 minutes ago. Hey, I kind of like this McDonald's. I kind of like this casino that's being built in town. Hey, wait a minute. You mean I can just go buy anything I want over here? Wow, I never knew this before. This is great. Maybe American. I'll do my Italian accent again. Hey, American, not so bad, eh?
Yeah, keep going.
No, that's my point. I mean, I think that if we can just get a toehold in there with a free, benevolent system in there, it has to be led by Iranian leaders. I think some of those people are in jail right now in Iran. I believe that.
Yeah.
Maybe we should have some. I'm not in favor of boots on the ground. However, maybe special ops should go in there and bust up a couple of these prisons.
That'd be a good ops always get in trouble.
Special ops are there for a reason. You use them sparingly, but you use them when you have to. Or maybe we get train some Kurd special ops to go in there and bust up a couple of these prisons. I think hopefully they got part of that as part of their war strategy. I would think that'd be a good thing to do.
Bummer. I'm trying to upload a map of Iran here. It's supposed to be compatible.
Yeah, we had graphics up here earlier when we were rehearsing. So
yeah, but I'm trying to do the map and it's not working. So here's the part one that we should note. Tehran is way up in the northern part of Iran. Okay,
North Central Iran, correct.
So what that does is it puts it not very far from where you have a high concentration of Kurds.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Good.
So as a result, we are all go in and create a Shah in parliament because we are secretly afraid to give anyone else a Republican form of government. It's my color revolution and I want it now. Yes, there you go. I want it now. Unfortunately, you have to do color revolutions right. Otherwise, you don't get the desired results.
Right.
Kind of like poorly cooked meals at the Culinary Institute of America. Just a thought. So, there's some preparation. We will create a Shah in Parliament. It's interesting, Booker 414, say that. The thing is that we already know that this Shah Pahlavi guy, he's not the guy. Okay?
You're the guy that's here in the States you're talking about.
Yeah, he does
Yeah,
not
no, he's
have.
not. Yeah, but he could be a good advisor, though. A good guy. Maybe he could bring on friends that he knows there to help. Like he's not
Right.
a leader, but
Okay, so this person I listened to, an Iranian who's an expert and has known Shah Pahlavi for a while, or Pahlavi, Prince Pahlavi, didn't really have any nice words for him. And I think there were 3 points he wanted to make about this guy. The first is that in the early days, Pahlavi would have been determined to produce a democratic government. Okay.
okay.
Over the years, Pahlavi's spirit, what's the matter with me? Political views have changed to the point that he's more fascistic, which
He's
is kind
become
of
left
disturbing.
wing.
What?
Okay. He's
Not
become
no,
more
fascistic in the sense that
far
you're going
right.
to have absolute. By the way, I just need to mention this. There is a fascism movement in America, a real one, not the bullshit one where everybody, you fascist, they don't know what they're talking about. No, these are people with deep intellectual chops, academic skills, okay, who sit there and argue with each other about the benefits of fascism. I have listened in on some of these conversations, and it is disturbing to say the least. Okay, so
Okay, but these
they're
people,
around. They're around.
they're around. Of course, they're around, but we're not gonna let them take
Okay,
power or anything.
yeah, but the point is that given the opportunity, they have their own ideas about what constitutes good government. And I can tell you, not for me, not for me. Nope.
No.
So, in any event, so I had to throw those things out. The Shah is not a good choice. Okay, lack of organizational experience. He doesn't have the emotional makeup to be a leader. Okay,
No, but he might
I
have
mean, for what it's worth, he was in that 60 Minutes interview with Scott. What's his name? Scott No Balls. Helby, whatever his name is, and he was crying.
Right. Okay. So he's not really
crying.
Okay. So he's not going to be the leader of Iran. We get that. But he might have a role as an influencer or to get to know people that he has. No. He was part of the original Shah family, so there may be people that he knows that have been political activists in Iran all these years that know him. Right, that he can help. He can help.
Let us go back, and we will
just say for
the moment.
Maybe.
We'll just go back and we'll say for the moment that we're going to give him some time. All right.
It's going to take time.
The wheels are turning, and now it's time for the good old Shah to get his act together. So, what can we expect from him, let us say, in a month? All right. In terms of a political party or some opposition group that is ready to assume some form of power within the country. What can we expect from him? All right. And I'll tell you right now, I expect bupkis from him. He just, the guy's been a social animal all these years. He goes to parties. He hasn't spent time plotting his return.
Okay, comparing it back to the American Revolution again. If assuming that Israel, assuming that Israel and the United States, and by the way, a growing allied coalition, is able to wipe out the mullah, okay, and we could have maybe what's the situation when you compare it to a continental Congress. So a group of Kurds, group of Shiites, group of Sunnis, group of different because Iran, from my understanding, is kind of a melting pot of its own. We talked about the distribution there. So just the way we had here in the States, we had our southern interests in Georgia, and we had Massachusetts different. So if those different interests come together into sort of a continental Iranian Congress and figure out how to create a democratic government that's, civil, that doesn't have to, friendly, not toward America specifically, but friendly toward capitalism and freedom and whatnot.
You've got at least four problems. Okay, you've got at least four problems. One, you're dealing with a culture that has a history of holding grudges. Two, you have people who speak different languages from each other, and they're somehow going to work together. Okay. Number three, you've got your ordinary cultural differences between these groups: cultural, linguistic, historic. And then, of course, there's this small issue called trust. These people got to be able to trust each other. They have no history of working together, as far as I know. And
Well,
now suddenly we're going to work together.
same problems. We had the same problems here at that time, except the
We
language.
don't have no.
The same language.
All right.
We had that.
The closest thing to carrying a grudge is the McCoys. What was it? The Hatfield and McCoys. Okay.
Hatfield and McCoys. Yeah.
All right. So that's the closest thing that we have to people carrying a grudge in America. Nothing like. There you go. Eric has checked in. All right, Eric.
Are you suggesting it's impossible then for Iran to come together? It should be split into different nations? Should it be, or should one faction, the Kurds, are the ones most friendly toward us, be the one that dominates? I mean, what's your alternative to other than
my alternative?
Yeah. How would you settle Iran if it was up to you?
If I was in the planning group that had the opportunity to lay out what was going to happen, I would first turn to the Persians. You know, they're the dominant group. And it's the Persian culture that, where's Enoch when you need him? Not tonight. Sorry. Israel, or either, you had to bring up Israel. Yeah, Eric, we're trying to keep Israel out of this discussion. Okay. We can talk about the Greater Israel Project, of which, of course, I am opposed. But, you know,
the Greater Israel Project.
I'm kind of like talking to Eric now.
Does that involve Israeli expansion?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, I'm not in favor of that.
Yeah, if you can go to Wikipedia and the whole thing there about the Greater Israel Project, which is a non-starter, you know, as far as I'm concerned.
It's not going to happen.
So
they can have Gaza.
Sorry?
They can have Gaza.
They can have Gaza?
Yeah, they can have Gaza. That's it.
And what about the peace board? Remember the people who make up the peace board? Yeah.
Well, I don't mean they can have Gaza. I mean they should be able to control what happens there, so they don't have to ever deal with those problems again from Gaza. I guess is what I'm getting at.
Right. Okay.
All right. Go ahead. Well, as far as Iran, though,
let me just read Booger's comment here. As much as I hate blaming colonizers, the British, French, and Dutch drew those arbitrary borders that didn't reflect old tribal feuds. Oh, Booger 414. It is far worse than that. Far worse. I would love to send you the link to the video that explains how the banks, not just the political element, but the financial element, the banking element, really screwed over that area over time. It is, yeah. So
central banking is a bad thing for a country altogether.
What?
Central banking is a bad thing for a country altogether. Gives too much power.
But look at what we got. We got
Federal Reserve System sucks for America. And it's no coincidence that our national debt started growing when the Federal Reserve Act was passed, and we could continue to fall deeper into debt ever since, at least until Donald Trump came along.
Yeah. Well, okay, but it's Congress. Congress has oh my God. How do I think about this? Because I'm watching the comments and I'm trying to think at the same time. So you're not seeing these comments, right?
No, I'm not seeing them.
Yeah. Okay.
Not yet.
So Eric, the stuff about the banks is, I mean, it's not just what Booger 414 said, but well, anyway. So Eric agrees with them. Yeah. No, bad history, and there's a lot to atone for. Nice Jewish concept there. Just want to throw that in, atonement. All right, where do I want to take this next? We've been talking about this for a while. Did you want to talk about?
I want to shift gears. Let's shift gears.
Okay.
I want to talk about two things.
Yes.
In Connecticut, really around the country, but in Connecticut in general.
All right, you want to pick on those things? Go ahead.
I'm going to pick on two things that I think most people don't want to pick on, but we're going to pick on them anyway.
Okay.
The first one is something I just thought of tonight, actually. And I thought of before, but tonight I'm going to bring it up. In Connecticut, it's about the Second Amendment. In theory, Second Amendment reads something to the effect of Congress shall make no law regulating the bearing of arms for an individual or organization, for that matter, which would preclude most gun laws that are on the books today. You know, even the ones that would require. Now, I can understand background searches to make sure you're not a felon.
Yeah,
because a felon has given up their Second Amendment right in essence.
Okay.
Whatever. To me, it's an automatic thing in Connecticut, but it should be a case-by-case basis. So, in other words, if you're a felon, you were convicted of murder, say, look, you're going to get life in prison, or we'll offer you 30 years, but when you get out, you relinquish your right to carry arms after that, and you negotiate that settlement. And you've given up by negotiation your Second Amendment right.
Right.
If you haven't done that, you haven't. And therefore,
Yeah. So
anyone who's really walking around that's not in jail should have a right to carry.
yeah.
Now,
So
in Connecticut, there's a rule called conceal and carry.
let me just respond to two things here. Burger 4 and 4 has put up. Return Lebanon to the Christians like the three-state solution intended, and then we can talk about, quote, Gaza. I'm inclined to agree. Easier said than done. Okay, you've got a lot of pesky Muslims who are not going to go along with that all too well. So, so Booker 4 and 4, I would just say that, history has a funny way of working out and takes unexpected paths. So I'm going to appeal to the unknown and to the unexpected in light of what you just said there. How's that for a cop out?
There you go. That's a good.
Yes. So
a good one is we all want the best for everybody involved. That's got good intentions.
and the Second Amendment and really the rest of the Constitution does not exist in Connecticut. I would agree with you on that. However, no, Connecticut's a serious problem. Serious problem. We could go on about this.
There's also a rule that is generally accepted by everybody in Connecticut, and it's called conceal and carry. In other words, you can once you've gone through all the illegal Folly Red hoops to get your permit, and you can now possess a pistol, say for example, a handgun.
Yeah,
you're told you must conceal it.
Okay, there is this larger trend that I need to point to. Okay, in effect, in so many ways, and I think Booker 4 and 4 would agree here, is that Connecticut is frankly moving against the trends in America. So, for example, if you look at what has happened with the Second Amendment, more and more states are, quote, liberalizing the right to carry arms. Okay, they're stripping away more and more of the barriers that are normally used. Connecticut has been a little slow to, and yes, conceal and carry is a relatively new law in Connecticut, although it's always the rule for many years. Well, so I don't know if Booker 4 and 4 knows about the, CCDL in Connecticut, but they are, the organization that defends Second Amendment rights in Connecticut. And I remember one of the guys on the board would always walk around wearing his sidearm where everybody could see it.
Mm-hmm.
And this would get people upset, and he would have to explain to them that in Connecticut, you're allowed to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yes, and then there are quite a few people that are gun owners in Connecticut. Last time I looked, the figure was 6% in Connecticut are gun owners, which is too low, actually. Too low.
Yeah. I got to go through the process.
The highest states are around 50% plus.
Texas.
So you're going to say around the average state might be 20-25% carrying arms licensed to, and Connecticut's down to 6%. But we're not the lowest. We're not the lowest. Just saying.
I'd probably say, I bet you like Maryland or New York maybe might be the lowest.
Yeah. Well, some have theorized. So Booker 4 and 4 says some have theorized that concealed carry was always illegal here. That would not be the case. We have allowed. Open carry has been allowed. Yes. It's been of the law, but there's been a push to get rid of it. That much I know.
Yeah, right. Because open carry, as from a practical standpoint, conceal from a practical standpoint could put you at a disadvantage in a situation you want to defend yourself to start with.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting subject. That's one of the things I think I'm going to pick on. But there's another subject in Connecticut that I really want to pick on more than anything. And this is one I've had experience with recently.
The clock says if we're doing this for an hour, we got 7 minutes.
So. Good, just enough time.
Okay, but we still got to talk about directed energy weapons too.
Yes, we do.
All right. So
the right to video in public.
Yes.
And in publicly funded buildings, government buildings and lobbies and in public, not talking about behind closed doors or behind counters or an employee's office space. We're not talking about that. We're talking about lobbies, public areas. A guy named Reyes, his name is Long Island Audit is his screen name. He's been doing things in Connecticut. He's getting himself arrested doing it too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't intend on doing that. However, this year we're gonna start asserting our right to film in buildings that we pay for. And I would even I would even argue in buildings that
So we had this
private
discussion.
We're going to talk more about it. We don't have a lot of time to get into it tonight, but I think we're going to talk to it on another show.
All right.
So it's a line in the sand issue for me, and I'll get into it in more detail about how anything you cannot be trespassed. Anything that your eyes can see in public, including police department lobbies, courtroom lobbies, hospital lobbies, and public sidewalks, anywhere, not private places, but places that are public or funded by taxpayers. Anything your eyes can see, you can also videotape. And that's something that's not being respected in Connecticut or around the country, more so around the country, less here in Connecticut. And it's an issue that I'm going to take up. We'll leave it at that. We'll talk in the future. I know we're running out of time. Now, the other thing,
by the way, let me just add Booger 414 adds, in general, you can take the video anywhere that you can otherwise legally be. All right.
That's correct.
So he's applying a broad definition of what constitutes public use. You know, if you're walking in a hallway and a lot of people from outside are walking in and out of, say, the hospital, well, gee whiz, that should be a public space, even if it's a private hospital. I think that's kind of his argument.
That's correct. And that argument is based on the fact that it's taxpayers that fund for much of that hospital. Yeah. As well. We're paying for that hospital, for the large part of that hospital.
Right.
That's part of the basis behind that.
Yeah, gun laws are the least of our problems now, right now. Says Eric, yes, the list is long. How many times have you heard me say that? The list is long. Anyway, let's jump to directed energy weapons with these last few minutes. Okay.
The premise of the directed energy weapons, it's called, and the basis of this is it's weaponry that can affect the human body, correct? Directly from outside.
No, I'll take it to the next level. Look.
Okay.
Right now, I think we're looking at two classes of directed energy weapons: microwave and laser. All right. And actually, I'd throw in a third: ultrasound. So the ultrasound one is, let's see, phasers or Tesla coils. All right, we can chuckle about the phaser one. We can't chuckle about the Tesla coil part. I think the answer is neither. Okay. So I wish I had more time. You know, I should do a special thing here where we get into the science of this stuff. Hell yeah. So look, the Navy has directed energy weapons. They're called lasers, and they've been demonstrating them. They've been using them. They're being deployed into the fleet as we speak. However, you should know that that form of directed energy weapon is an energy hog. Everything on the ship has to shut down every time a pulse of laser energy has to be sent out. So this is kind of where you got to start, but there it is. Okay. So
we get more detail on that at another time, because it's something we want to get into. But the premise of it is I've been told that it's being used potentially against what are called TIs.
Yes,
targeted individuals.
And I have responded
to these people remotely.
Yes, the idea of targeted individuals is old news as far as our federal government is concerned. Bunch of nasty, oh my God. So another one I didn't mention. Okay, so yeah, fine. It was a harmless bacteria that was deployed, but in an effort to study what would happen if bacterial bioweapons were deployed in urban centers, you had these experiments that were being run back in the 50s and 60s. They wanted to see, well, what happens if a pathogenic bacteria finds its way through the tunnels of a subway? So the next best thing was to take a benign bacteria and just let it, and then track it, you know, and get a sense of how it would distribute itself. On the one hand, you look at that and you say, well, if your responsibility is to try and defend this country against bioweapons attack, you kind of got to do something like that. Just saying. Okay. Anyway, so let's set that aside. Back to the directed energy weapon. With target individuals, we know the story. What are they calling the Havana syndrome, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So Let's say yes. Let's say the evidence is there. Now what?
What do we do?
All right, Booger 414. Now you're being a wise guy.
Well, you made a comment a little while ago that the
Yes,
idea of
they have. The
AI.
Navy has been doing extensive research with dihydrous monoxide, but I believe that's dihydrogen, not dihydrous. No, maybe you know more chemistry than I do. Yes, water. We got it. Okay, that's good. I think he's having fun jerking us around. Okay. So
Well,
Lahania.
you
Can
made
we
a
talk
comment
about Lahania, Hawaii?
you made a comment that, wait a minute, you're not gonna get off that easily. You made a comment that target individuals is a dead concept, old concept,
Yes.
gone away. We don't do it anymore. We don't target
Who said
individuals off
anything
their
about being gone
knowledge.
away? Nobody said it was gone away.
Okay.
No,
You said it's a dead issue with the federal government.
no, not dead. Did I say dead?
Well, what did you say?
Hey, Booger 414. Did I say dead?
You said it was.
I think I said dead.
You implied that they don't do it
It's
anymore.
old news. I said it's old news.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So we know that it's going on.
Doing it for a long time
Okay.
without
I spoke
regard
with somebody
for a
that
fellow human being.
I spoke with somebody. I can't name this person by name yet, but a source of an individual that was once a reporter that believes that she's been affected by this weaponry, and it's affected her jaw muscles, and it's turned her from a beautiful girl into a kind of
That's right. It's not
wrinkled
dead.
person.
Right.
And I don't know if it's true, and I don't know. That's why I brought it up.
Okay, so I am open to the possibility. I think that's entirely reasonable. When you get to into this whole directed energy thing and the idea of targeted individuals, there's just so many rabbit holes to go down. I don't even know where to start.
Yeah,
I'm going to go back. I'm going to go for it again. Lahania, Hawaii. You know about Lahania, Hawaii?
Tell us about it.
Okay. Well, in the news, we had a horrible fire, and the official explanation is that you had power lines up on the hills above this town, and I guess they were not taking proper care of the brush around there, and so there was a lightning strike, and that triggered, and then that caused a huge energy short, which then caused a fire, which struck Lahania, Hawaii, which is a small town right on the water. I'm not sure which island it is in Hawaii. Okay, so that's the official party explanation.
Mm-hmm.
Does not line up with the evidence on the ground. Okay.
All right.
Why did metal melt and plastic not?
Okay.
Why did metal turn to ash and other materials were unaffected? Why could you look and see, oh, there's a tennis court, and then the lot next to it, everything is devastated. The tennis court is untouched. All right. So
Okay.
the one though that let's see, where are the kids? Where are the kids?
Is this where that comes from? That I think we should talk about more of this on another occasion.
Real Genius. Okay, thanks for that. I'm going to check him out. Okay, he recommended something called Real Genius for understanding directed energy weapons. Okay, all good.
We'll do that. I think we should look more into it and talk about it more.
Yeah, okay. So look, the showstopper, as far as I'm concerned, is the picture that was taken inside a church.
Mm-hmm.
You look up at the ceiling, and you can see that something cut through the ceiling all the way across.
Huh.
All right. That would have had to have been a highly powerful directed energy beam that would have done that. Okay. But who did it? That's the question we need answered. And by the way, there was an event like this in Texas a few months later that was never really resolved. And so you got them questions.
Well, I think we should do more research on it and bring it up on another occasion for sure.
Okay. Yes. So we're an hour and 4 so far into this.
With that, I think we're ready to wrap it.
Okay. Good
I'll tell you
job.
next time we talk, we'll talk about Harvey's Lake.
Harvey's Lake. Okay.
That'll be a teaser.
Does that involve UFOs?
No,
Okay.
it's a little bit more of it's a conversation about work ethic.
Right. And then Booger's other comment here is you can't trust any pictures you see. I would agree with you, Booger, 414. The thing that gets me,
it's better than some lips.
With the lips, if there are a lot of these, there's a range of quality. Okay. You got the really lousy quality AI generated images of people. Then you've got others that are pretty good. And then you got those others where you're kind of going, is this real or not? And the thing is, when you stare at those ones that if you can't tell they're real or not, there are little clues where you can tell it is not real. You see, one of the things that they haven't figured out yet is that when two people are interacting with each other, there are amazing, subtle physical clues. The way a person turns his head, a slight turning of the body, a little flick of the eye, all these little things.
It's like a magic lasso.
Yeah, this current AI does not. All right. I think we're finding out who this guy really is. Oh, this is funny. Booger 414. I bet AI couldn't even make a Hawaiian birth certificate.
Okay, we can end it on that.
That's good. That's good. All right. On that happy note, hopefully, I don't know, hopefully you'll pick us up sometime, Booger 414.
Thank you for joining us, Burger 414.
Yeah,
we'll see you again soon.
All right. So good night.
Good night, everybody. God bless. God bless America.